Imagine this. You're outside on a quiet night staring up at the vast dark sky. The moon is shining brightly, casting its soft glow over the Earth, just as it has for billions of years. It controls the tides, stabilizes our planet's rotation, and even influences life in ways we're still trying to understand. It has been a source of myths, legends, and even scientific breakthroughs. But what if I told you that everything you think you know about the moon might be wrong? What if the moon wasn't a natural celestial body at all? What if it was something else? Something placed there intentionally? It sounds like pure science fiction, something straight out of an ancient alien conspiracy theory. But here's the thing. Even NASA scientists, astronomers, and researchers have acknowledged that the moon is an anomaly. Its composition, its orbit, and even the way it reacts to external forces suggest that it's not just another rock floating through space. For decades, strange findings about the moon have been dismissed, downplayed, or outright ignored. But the more you look into them, the more questions arise. Could the moon be an artificial megastructure? Could it be hollow? Was it placed in orbit intentionally, perhaps as a giant space station, a monitoring device, or even the remnant of an ancient civilization that existed before recorded history? Tonight, we're diving into one of the most mind-bending theories ever proposed, the idea that the moon isn't what we've always assumed it to be. We'll explore the scientific anomalies, the historical mysteries, and the bizarre evidence that suggests the moon might not be a natural satellite at all. So if you're ready to challenge everything you thought you knew about our closest cosmic neighbor, stay with me until the end. Let's begin. The moon's strange and unexplained. Anomalies. Before we even consider the possibility that the moon is artificial, let's start with the basic facts. Because even from a purely scientific perspective, the moon is one of the weirdest objects in our solar system. The moon's perfect position and size, one of the most obvious oddities, is the moon's size, and its placement relative to the Earth and the Sun. The moon is 400 times smaller than the Sun, but it's also exactly 400 times closer to Earth. This perfect ratio allows it to completely cover the Sun during a total solar eclipse, something that, mathematically speaking, is an almost impossible coincidence. No other planet in the solar system has such a precise relationship between its moon and its star. This raises a huge question. Did nature randomly make this happen, or was it deliberately arranged? Many ancient cultures, including the Sumerians, the Egyptians, and the Chinese, believed that the moon was not a natural object, but something placed in the sky by gods or celestial beings. Could they have known something that modern scientists are only beginning to suspect? The moon's composition, older than Earth. When the Apollo missions brought back lunar rock samples, scientists were shocked by their age. Some moon rocks were found to be 4.5 billion years old, older than any rock on Earth. In fact, some rocks were so ancient that they seemed to predate the Earth itself. If the moon was formed from the same material as Earth, as the widely accepted giant impact hypothesis suggests, why are some of its rocks older than our planet? Even stranger, the moon's surface contains elements that are extremely rare on Earth, including titanium, uranium-236, and neptunium-237, materials that are not normally found in naturally occurring celestial bodies. Some of these materials are used in nuclear technology. How did they get there? Could it be possible that the moon's interior contains artificial components, possibly even technology? 3. The ringing like a bell phenomenon. One of the most famous moon anomalies comes from the Apollo 12 mission in 1969. As part of an experiment, NASA deliberately crashed the lunar module onto the moon's surface to measure seismic activity. The results were astonishing. The moon reverberated like a bell for over an hour, suggesting that its interior is not entirely solid. This experiment was repeated in 1970 with Apollo 13, and this time the moon rang for over 3 hours. Scientists were stunned. Natural celestial bodies like planets and moons should absorb energy from impacts, not vibrate like a metal sphere. This led to one of the most controversial theories ever proposed, the hollow moon hypothesis. The hollow moon hypothesis, a giant artificial structure. If the moon is truly hollow, then what does that mean? It would suggest that the moon is not a naturally occurring satellite, but possibly an artificial structure, perhaps even a massive spacecraft or monitoring station. This idea was first seriously proposed in 1970 by two Soviet scientists, Mikhail Vasin and Alexander Sherbakov, who suggested that the moon was not a normal celestial body, but an artificially engineered object placed in orbit around Earth. They pointed out that the moon's craters are far too shallow for the size of the impacts it has sustained, suggesting an unusually strong or reinforced outer shell. The moon's density is much lower than expected for a celestial body of its size. The moon's orbit is mathematically perfect, almost too perfect for a natural satellite. But here's where things get even stranger. Historical records suggest that the moon wasn't always there. Ancient texts that suggest the moon is artificial. Did you know that some ancient civilizations recorded a time before the moon existed? Ancient Greek writers like Aristotle and Plutarch, as well as Roman historians, mentioned that there were groups of people called the Prosellenes, whose name literally means before the moon. According to their legends, their ancestors lived on Earth before the moon appeared in the sky. Similarly, ancient Zulu myths from Africa describe the moon as a great egg that was hollowed out and placed in the sky by powerful celestial beings. The Zulu people even believed that the moon was an observation device used to control and influence humanity. Even the Bible and other ancient texts refer to a time when there was no moon. In the book of Job, one of the oldest books in the Bible, it speaks of a time when the moon was not yet, suggesting that something changed in Earth's ancient past. Could this mean that the moon was brought here rather than forming naturally? If so, by who and for what purpose? This is where things get truly mind-blowing, and in the next section we'll explore some of the wildest but most compelling theories about who or what might be responsible for placing the moon in orbit. Who put the moon there? Exploring the theories. So, if the moon isn't a naturally formed satellite and if there's evidence suggesting it was placed in orbit, the next big question is, who or what put it there? This is where things get really interesting, because there are multiple theories, each more mind-bending than the last. Some suggest ancient alien intervention, while others propose that the moon is part of a long-lost civilization's creation. And then, there's the idea that the moon is actually an advanced observation device, monitoring life on Earth. Let's dive deep into some of the most compelling theories, starting with the most popular one. The ancient alien hypothesis. Was the moon built by extraterrestrials? One of the most controversial yet fascinating ideas is that the moon was deliberately placed in Earth's orbit by an advanced extraterrestrial civilization. But why would they do that? There are a few possibilities. A. The moon as a spacecraft. What if the moon isn't just a hollow object, but an actual spacecraft? Some researchers believe that the moon's perfectly stable orbit, strange density, and unexplained metal-like composition suggest that it could be a giant interstellar craft, possibly abandoned by an ancient race. Think about it. What better way to observe a planet than from a massive satellite disguised as a natural moon? The moon never rotates like other celestial bodies. One side always faces Earth. Its orbit is incredibly precise, never deviating. Its interior could be reinforced, explaining why craters don't penetrate deeply. If the moon was an ancient alien spaceship, it could have been used to monitor Earth for thousands, maybe millions of years. And the fact that humanity has only barely explored it makes the theory even more intriguing. B. The moon as an alien. Outpost others believe the moon was placed there as a staging ground, a base used by extraterrestrials in ancient times. This theory suggests that aliens may have once lived on or inside the moon, using it as a way to observe and interact with Earth's early civilizations. If true, this could explain why ancient cultures spoke of gods descending from the moon. UFO. Sightings have been reported near the moon for centuries. Some Apollo astronauts claim to have seen strange lights and structures on the lunar surface. In fact, Buzz Aldrin, the second man to walk on the moon, once hinted at seeing something. unusual during the Apollo 11 mission, and NASA's reluctance to return to the moon for decades has fueled speculation that they know something they aren't telling us. Could it be that the moon was once home to something or someone not from Earth? The moon as an ancient megastructure built by a lost civilization? The second major theory is that the moon wasn't created by aliens, but by an ancient, advanced human civilization, one that existed before recorded history. Imagine a time before our known history, when a technologically advanced civilization, perhaps millions of years ago, rose to power and built an artificial moon to sustain life on Earth. This theory aligns with several ideas. The ancient lost civilizations theory, which suggests that before the Ice Age, a highly advanced human civilization existed, one capable of space travel and massive engineering projects. The hollow moon hypothesis, which supports the idea that the moon's strange density and metallic elements could be artificial. The Great Cataclysm theory, which proposes that some ancient disaster, like a nuclear war or an asteroid impact, wiped out this civilization, leaving only the moon as a relic of their existence. Could it be possible that humanity had once colonized space, only to be reset by a catastrophic event? And if so, could the moon be one of the last remnants of that lost era? The moon as a control device, is it affecting human consciousness? Here's where things get really bizarre. Some researchers propose that the moon isn't just an observation station. It's actually influencing human behavior, emotions, and even reality itself. This idea is based on the fact that the moon has a massive impact on Earth's life, controlling the tides, affecting animal behavior, and even influencing human sleep cycles and mental states. But what if it's doing more than that? The moon and human behavior. For centuries, people have believed that the moon affects moods, emotions, and mental states. The word lunatic comes from luna, the Latin word for moon, because ancient societies believed that the full moon could cause erratic behavior, heightened aggression, and even madness. Even modern science supports some of these claims. Police reports show spikes in crime and violence during full moons. Hospitals report an increase in psychiatric admissions on lunar cycles. Sleep studies reveal that people experience more vivid dreams and sleep disturbances during full moons. Is this just a coincidence, or is the moon exerting some kind of hidden influence over human minds? B. Could the moon be a signal transmitter? Some alternative researchers suggest that the moon could be broadcasting low-frequency signals that subtly influence human perception. If true, this could mean the moon is manipulating human consciousness. It could be blocking us from perceiving reality as it truly is. Ancient civilizations may have been aware of this influence, which is why they built massive structures like the Great Pyramids to counteract it. This idea is highly controversial, but it raises the question, if the moon is truly artificial, could it be playing a much bigger role in our lives than we ever realized? Unexplained lunar phenomena. NASA knows more than they're saying. While many of these theories sound outrageous, what's even more suspicious is NASA's strange relationship with the moon. The Apollo missions stopped abruptly. Despite spending billions on moon missions, NASA suddenly stopped sending astronauts. Thereafter, Apollo 17 in 1972. For over 50 years, no human has set foot on the moon, despite massive advancements in technology. Why? Could it be that NASA discovered something they weren't supposed to? 2. The mysterious lost tapes in 2006. NASA admitted that they had lost the original Apollo 11 footage, including the first moon landing. They also claimed to have lost all the telemetry data from that mission. How do you lose one of the most important historical records in human history? Unless there was something on those tapes that they didn't want the public to see. Strange lunar structures and anomalies. Numerous photos from NASA's archives show strange objects, lights, and shadows on the moon's surface. Some amateur astronomers have reported seeing unidentified structures that seem to move or change over time. Several former NASA employees, including Ken Johnston, have claimed that NASA has edited or removed certain images before releasing them to the public. Is there something on the moon that we're not supposed to know about? What if the moon is artificial? The shocking implications. If the moon isn't a natural satellite, if it was placed in orbit by someone or something, then we have to ask, why was it put there? What purpose does it serve? And most importantly, what happens if we ever find out the truth? The implications of an artificial moon are beyond anything we've been taught. It could change how we see history, space, and even humanity's place in the universe. Let's break down the three biggest possibilities and what they mean for the future. If the moon is an alien creation, what's their true agenda? If the moon was placed in orbit by an advanced extraterrestrial race, then the real question isn't how, it's why. Are we being observed? One of the most chilling possibilities is that the moon is actually an alien monitoring station, put there to watch over Earth for reasons we don't yet understand. Think about it. The moon is perfectly positioned to see everything happening on Earth. It could be recording data, monitoring human progress, and even influencing world events. If the moon is an artificial structure, it might be filled with technology, even intelligent beings, hidden inside. What if the moon isn't just watching us but controlling us? Could the moon be a terraforming tool? Another theory suggests that aliens designed the moon to make Earth habitable, essentially terraforming the planet into an ideal home for life. The moon stabilizes Earth's tilt, preventing extreme climate changes. It controls the tides, which helped early life evolve in shallow waters. It affects weather patterns, keeping Earth's ecosystem balanced. But if an advanced race engineered the moon to shape Earth's environment, does that mean they're planning to come back? If the moon is a lost megastructure, what happened to its builders? If the moon was built by an ancient civilization, then we have to ask, where did they go? There are three possibilities. A. They were wiped out in a catastrophe. Some researchers believe that a great cataclysm, such as a nuclear war, asteroid impact, or planetary disaster, could have destroyed an ancient human-like civilization. This civilization may have built the moon as a last-ditch effort to preserve Earth's conditions. After the disaster, only traces of their technology remained, hidden beneath the moon's surface. Over time, their history was completely lost, leaving only myths and legends about gods in the sky. If this is true, it means we are living in the ruins of a forgotten past. They left Earth for another planet. Another possibility is that the moon's creators left Earth, escaping to another planet or solar system. Could they have colonized Mars or another distant world? Could they have left behind the moon as a way to guide humanity when we're ready? If they survived, are they watching us from afar? If we ever decode the moon's secrets, could we discover evidence of our long-lost ancestors, or even a map to where they went? If the moon is controlling us, what happens if we wake up? Some of the most extreme theories suggest that the moon isn't just an artificial object, it's a control mechanism. Could it be influencing human emotions and behavior? Could it be blocking us from seeing the universe as it truly is? Could ancient civilizations have figured this out, and that's why their knowledge was erased? If this is true, the most terrifying possibility is that someone or something is using the moon to keep humanity in a controlled state of existence. But what happens if we break free? A. Could humanity be on the verge of a massive awakening? What if ancient cultures knew the truth about the moon, but their knowledge was destroyed? What if breaking free from the moon's influence could unlock hidden abilities, like telepathy, advanced consciousness, or even time perception? If we were to truly understand what the moon is, could it change everything we believe about reality? B. The final warning. What if we try to investigate the moon? This raises one last question. Why haven't we gone back to the moon in over 50 years? NASA, despite all its advances, has never sent astronauts back. But why? Some believe that the moon's true nature is a secret, one that governments, space agencies, and even extraterrestrial forces don't want humanity to uncover. What if there's something hidden inside the moon that we're not supposed to see? Our leaders already know the truth, but revealing it would collapse society. Trying to uncover the moon's secrets could trigger some kind of response from those who put it there. Final thoughts. Are we ready for the truth? The mystery of the moon remains one of the biggest unanswered questions in human history. Whether it was built by aliens, an ancient civilization, or something even stranger, the truth could change everything we know. But maybe the biggest question isn't what the moon is, but why we haven't been allowed to know. Is the truth so shocking, so paradigm-shifting, that those in power are keeping it hidden? And if the secret of the moon was ever revealed, would humanity be ready to face it? What do you think? Could the moon be more than what we've been told? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.